What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Aydian here, and this is episode number 6 of Top Surgery Tips. In this episode, I have a special guest a little later on, which I'm excited to share with you guys, as well as we talk a little bit more about the feelings rather than like necessarily top surgery tips. But I think they're good things to talk about when we're talking about, in general, the subject of top surgery. So I wanted to share this with you. I hope that you enjoy our special guest. Let's dive right into the episode. Alright, so when I meant talk about feelings, I meant like actual feelings. And these feelings are kind of things that differentiate between different people, right? We all go through different feelings when it comes to top surgery. So everybody has kind of different experiences. And so I wanted to share with you one of my biggest fears before I had top surgery. And I think it's an interesting one because when I look in retrospect, it really wasn't that big of a deal, but it was for me. And so I would talk to other people about it, and they all thought I was kind of silly, and it kind of made me feel like, you know, like, oh, I'm just being a wimp. But I wasn't being a wimp. This was just my fear. They had their own fears that they shared with me, and their fears were legitimate. And, you know, I had this fear, and that, I should share that fear with you, right? That fear is the anesthesia. I had this terrible, terrible fear that I was going to be put under anesthesia, and I would either not wake up. It was more that I wouldn't wake up, but even if I did wake up, I had this fear that I would wake up and them not know. There's a movie, I can't think of the name right now, I think it's even called like Awake or something like that, where literally like the person gets put under and then with the anesthesia, but then they wake up. And this does happen. It's like super rare. I don't know the statistics. I'd have to Google like you would right now and find something online, but I know that it does randomly occur, and I had this big fear that it would happen to me. And so I was really freaking nervous about the anesthesia. And I'm telling this story now, and I'm starting to realize something. Before I got my anesthesia, I was laying in the bed. It's kind of the last thing you get before you say goodbye. You get the anesthesia, and then they send your family or friends off, and then you go back. They roll you back. And I had the anesthesiologist come in, and it's, you know, it's so funny that I'm realizing this. Oh my gosh, this is so funny. You know, if you know, drop a comment below, let me know. They tell you like, oh, are you nervous? And I was like, yeah, I'm nervous. Like, anesthesia is one of the top things I'm nervous about, like getting put under, right? And let me tell you that I've never been put under before. I've never had a surgery. I've never stayed over at a hospital. I've had like broken bones. I've gone to the hospital, you know, stuff like that, but I've never been in a hospital. And this technically wasn't even a hospital. It was like an out surgery care unit, but whatever. I've never been in surgery, put under anesthesia. I said that I was nervous, and the anesthesiologist person was like, oh, well, like, you know what, before I give you the anesthesia, I'm gonna give you something else to kind of calm you down, and then, you know, we'll give you the anesthesia and you'll roll back. Now that I'm thinking about it, I wonder if they say that and then give you the anesthesia instead of the medicine that's gonna make it easier to take the anesthesia. Does that make sense? Because I feel like I'm just realizing that I might have been lied to, which I'm okay with that in this moment. I wouldn't have been in that moment. Yeah, so whatever. They gave me this thing that was supposed to calm me down so then I can get the anesthesia, but then I don't remember. I just like remember saying bye, Jenny Lee, and then like people coming over and starting to go back. You know what I mean? So interesting. Very interesting. I'm just realizing this now. I feel like my mind's being blown. Okay. So yeah, so that was always my biggest fear, and I felt like it really hindered me a little bit from celebrating and being excited about my surgery because I felt like it was a silly fear. And I wish that I had given myself some more room to have that fear and not be feeling so insecure about it. And I feel like it would have helped me a little bit. In retrospect, it was super easy. I woke up, I didn't feel anything, it was fine, nothing terrible happened. I barely hear about, I don't think I've ever heard about anybody's anesthesia wearing off, and I don't think I've heard many stories at all, ever, real life stories besides movies, about that type of stuff. So I just want to share that with you. I thought it was something to touch on with top surgery, like that you may have moments of feeling fear, you know what I mean? Even though it's something you really want to do, you know, don't let someone tell you because you're afraid that it's not what you want to do, but make sure that you really want it. Just, you know, being a little fearful is normal. Let's hop into the next part of the video, which features the special guest who is coming, so we'll get to that right now. What's going on, guys? I have a special guest here, Ryan Casada. If you don't know who he is, you should go check him out. I'll put his YouTube here and his Instagram, and you're on Twitter. Yeah. All that jazz below. He is a traveling musician. I'll kind of let you do your identity because I don't want to like say it for you.
I'm a singer-songwriter, actor, and activist, and I am a transgender boy from New York living in LA.
Awesome. I love that. Because everyone thinks I'm from Oregon. I'm like, no, I'm from New York, man. I'm from New York. Awesome. So I thought it would be really good to have him on because Ryan actually is well known not only for his music and stuff, but he's also known for not being on hormones, which is a very common thing for trans men to go on, and trans women also. So I thought it'd be really cool to have him on because I get questions a lot about top surgery that have to do with hormones being on them, not being on them, stuff like that. So in coordinates with the first half of this video, I wanted to ask him first about his fears because, you know, you got who'd you get top surgery from?
Brownstein.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. So, you know, how long ago?
5.5 years ago.
Oh, dope, dope. So we're like very close. I was 2012, so you were
2012, yeah.
In
January.
Okay, yeah, it was July. Awesome,
right,
awesome.
Cool.
Okay, so that's actually a really cool comparison that we're both 5 years post-op, so that's pretty dope. Yeah. And then the other concept is that I talked a lot about, like in the first half of this video, what my fears were when I was going to get top surgery, because it's scary, let's just be real, right? Like they're cutting you open all the way across your chest, like, you know, and especially 5 years ago, there was a lot less people to look to see what results could look like, right? And so I just wanted to know what some of your fears, if you had any fears, were before, during, after, post, you know, just like, what were some fears that maybe came up when you were going through your top surgery, like, journey? You know what I mean?
Well, like, before top surgery, I really didn't think about it at all. Like, I didn't think about how much pain I was going to be in, or how people are going to treat me after. I kind of accepted the fact that I would never 100% pass as male. So I accepted that. Like, I went to gender therapy and they were like, you need to accept this or else you're not getting top surgery. So so I accepted that, and I didn't have any fears like going into it really. I just wanted it so badly and needed it so badly that I was willing to risk my life and be in severe amounts of pain, and you know, I just needed it.
So for you, it's more like life-saving than anything else.
Yeah. The only thing that like really, like, for the first couple times I looked at my chest, like I felt normal, like I felt like it was like a good reflection, but it also felt like I was looking at someone else because I was not used to looking at myself with a flat chest.
I say that about hormones. Like 2-3 years on, you look at a picture of a group of your friends and you gotta find yourself because you're not like, you know what I mean? You're not that exact same face that you used to be. And then all of a sudden you're like, feel all selfish because you're like, well, how do I look? You know what I mean? Because you're like, I don't know what I look like anymore. What does that look like? You know? So that's interesting. You had the same feeling looking at your chest post and pre and post.
It felt right, but it just felt different, you know? And different is sometimes scary.
Oh, yeah. I think that's what most fear comes from. It's just like, because it's different and you're not used to it. You know what I mean? And so, did you have any fears, like when you were laying in the hospital bed or when you got out of the hospital? You're just like super chill.
Yeah, when I woke up.
Well, I'm like a wimp compared to you because I had many fears.
I woke up and like 5 minutes later, my mom was like, "Okay, we gotta go now."
Really?
we went back to the hotel.
Oh my gosh!
Like, so nauseous from the anesthesia.
Oh
I
yeah.
puked everywhere.
Oh my gosh! I almost got sick. I was scared.
I didn't even take the painkillers.
Why not? Because they made you nauseous?
I just didn't take them. I just took Advil and Motrin.
You just weren't in pain?
I was in pain, but I was just like, I'm not taking them.
Oh, okay. Hey, I mean, to each their own. I personally definitely took the medicine because I was just like, I don't want to be in pain. I don't want to go through that suffering. Like, you know, we've got Western medicine that's got meds, take them, but to each their own, you know what I mean? And so, do you feel like looking looking back now, like in retrospect, do you feel like there's anything that you wish that you did pay a little bit more attention to? Because, like, obviously not many fears. So is there anything now that you look back that you're like, not that I was afraid of this, but hey, maybe I should have paid a little more attention when I did this, or choosing this, or, like, do you get what I'm saying?
The only thing I did stupid after it was, like, a couple weeks later, I had a Jeep, and I reached up to close my trunk, and it hurt so bad.
Yeah, like that. I've heard that in the car a lot, like reaching back to get something from the back seat, and like, yeah.
And both of my nipples had cysts in them.
Oh, okay.
So I had to get surgery on both nipples after, which is probably why my nipples look so fucked up.
I don't think they actually look bad. If anything, I think they look a little more realistic, because mine are kind of, like, they're always like this, and they're, like, very small. Do you know what I mean? Well, now you have
not better
nipple piercing, so you can't even fucking tell.
I got my nipples smaller to match my brother's.
Really?
Yeah. So if we were all swimming together, it would look normal.
Did you bring a picture? Were you like, I want my nipples to be this size, this circumference?
No, I just said make them smaller, so I look like my brother's.
Awesome. Well, hey, that's what they're there for, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. My battery ran out. Had to change batteries right there. But before you go, this is not about fears, but like I was saying earlier, I get this question all the time. Is it better to get top surgery pre-hormones or post-hormones? I've said my response, which I haven't shared with Ryan because I want him to be organic in his response. You guys can check out my older videos. It's in the Q&A what my response is, but I want to know for you, like, you're someone who's not on hormones, never been on hormones. Do you think that it's better to go without hormones and then get top surgery, or do you think it's better to be on hormones and then get top surgery?
I think it depends what you need more, because I wanted to go on hormones when I was 16, and I wanted top surgery too, and I needed top surgery, but I didn't need to be on hormones. So I was like, I'll get my top surgery and see how I feel after, and wait a year and see, do I feel comfortable enough to go on? And I was like, I feel good enough, so I don't need to go on hormones. So that's like how I made my decision about hormones and top surgery. So it depends what you need more.
No,
like, if you need one or the other more, wait on the other one and see if you really need it or not, you know?
Yeah, no, I do like that. I mean, I think it's kind of like the same concept of when you go into gender therapy, they say, like, well, just like, you know, role play at home. Be called he. Be called the name you want to be called, or you know what I mean. Like, see how it feels. Because sometimes, for some people, that's enough. Like, that's good enough. Changing a name, changing a pronoun, changing a few pieces of clothing, and you're good. You know what I mean? Wearing a binder, you're straight. You know what I mean? Well, maybe not straight, but you know what I'm saying. And then, like, on the flip side, it's like, you know, for some people, all those things do really matter. You know what I mean? So that's really cool. I love that answer. I didn't know what he was going to say, but that was very in line with this channel, so I liked that answer.
Cool.
Whatever's better for you, you know, that's kind of what I say. Like, doesn't really, I think biologically, like, aesthetically, it doesn't really matter. I've been told one or the other. I've been told, oh, if you get it before, then you lose some fat. And then some of the fat from your chest tissue won't redistribute into your body. Right? That's one thing I've been told. But then I've been told the opposite of, well, not the opposite, but then the other side of, like, oh, well, you can get more, like, development of your chest if you're on hormones. But I also I argue that, like, you don't just take hormones and then get muscles. You have to, like, work out.
And there's no study yet. Really,
yeah, no, exactly. Like, there's, you know, 5 years ago, we were just saying there's like 7 people online you could look. You know what I mean? There's like 5 surgeons doing top surgery or labeling it as top surgery. You know what I mean? So
there wasn't any options.
No.
When I started watching YouTube, there was like 5 people on, you know?
And none of them are still online.
I
think Dade Barlow is the only person that I used to watch.
Charles Asher, I watched. He was the first one. He posts on Instagram sometimes. But even him on YouTube is like on and off. A couple and then nothing and a couple. So it's interesting. You just grow out of it, I guess.
Well, I think you get what you need from it, right? Like, you come, you get the support you need, and then when you're able to do it on your own, then you don't need all that support. You know what I mean? And it's not everybody's responsibility to be an activist or to put themselves out there. For some people, it's awesome, and for some people, it's not awesome. You know what I mean? Like, we couldn't do what we do without all the other people that surround us that aren't in front of the camera, that aren't on a stage playing, you know what I mean, that aren't on a stage speaking, you know? So it's a combined group, and you just have to find where do you actually fit the best. So
yeah.
I feel like it still falls in line with your answer. Like, what's gonna save your life more? Is starting hormones the most fucking important thing to you, or is getting top surgery the most fucking important thing to you? So I think that's, see, because for me, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna get top surgery, but I definitely wanted hormones.
Yeah.
So it was kind of flipped. Cool. So again, check out Ryan. All his stuff is right down here. He's an awesome dude. We're both actually from Long Island, born and raised. Love to LI, Strong Island. Oh yes, and he's doing this. We're gonna do this. He's giving me a shirt. I'm getting some free goods right here.
It up.
All right, I have to open it here. Ready? Who the fuck is Ryan? Here we go. This is perfect. Here we go. That's gonna be our thumbnail right here. Here, come over here and make like a weird face. Awesome. All right, Ryan, thanks for coming by. I appreciate it. Go check him out. He's on tour right now. If you're in any of the cities he's going to be at, go check him out. Cool kid right here. Peace out, guys.